Okie dokie. Let's try this one for number 4. Let's see if I can get through this a little bit faster so you don't have to sit there and listen to me forever and ever. So we're going to do the dot product. Oops. Okay, I'm not going to write the formula this time because you have the other video where you can check the screen capture. Hopefully you screen captured it, wrote it down. You can always check your book. Okay? So when we do this, again, you're basically just going to do 3 times a negative 6 plus a 4 times a negative 8, right? That is how you're doing this. So when you write it out, again, I have the awesomeness of, are you kidding me? Like, I just wrote those. There we go. Okay. I can always color code. You can't. You could. Carry around a bunch of colored pencils. So 3 times a negative 6. Oopsies. Plus a 4 times a negative 8. Okay. I totally changed that color. 4. There you go. times a negative 8. My stylus really does not want to work. It's not me, guys. I swear. It's totally not me. It's totally me. It's all right. Negative 18 plus a negative 32. Okay. And so when we do that dot product, we should get a negative 50. Okay. Part A, done. Part B, our angle. Okay. We are going to do the cosine of theta is equal to the dot product of V and W, and so that is a negative 50 over here that we just found. And then our denominator is the magnitude of our two vectors. The magnitude of our two vectors. So I will do the magnitude of V in red. So we're going to do the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. Hopefully you have kind of already seen that that is a Pythagorean triple. But then you're also going to do the magnitude of W, which is the square root of negative 6 quantity squared plus a negative 8. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like obviously over to the very right side of that screen. Negative 8 quantity squared, which is also a Pythagorean triple. It's 3, 4, 5 times 2. So our cosine of theta is going to be a negative 50 over, 3, 4, 5 times, because 3 squared plus 4 squared, square root is 5. And then that is actually going to be a 10. Okay, because it'll be 36 plus 64, take the square root of 100, boom. So we need a cosine of negative 1. So inverse cosine of negative 1 has to be our theta. So our theta is going to be 180 degrees. And again, you can go straight to your calculator. This one happened to be nice where it's just, right on the unit circle if we need to. All right, I'm going to shrink A and B. Slide them over there so they'll sit there. I don't know if you guys can see them. I hope you can. So then let's do the projection. So we'll do part C, the projection. When we do that, we are going to take our dot product. Okay, so projection is going to be our dot product. Our dot product of V times W was a negative 50. We found that in part A. We are then going to put that over the magnitude of W squared. I don't really need to do that actually. The magnitude of W, remember the magnitude of W squared, okay, so it's going to be 10 squared, and then we are actually going to multiply that by the vector W, negative 6, negative 8, okay? Oh, shoot. That needs to not be parentheses, that needs to be our vector, okay. So when we do this, we have a negative 50 over 10 squared, guys. 10 squared is 100. I know it's the end of the year. It's tough to think about that, but it's going to be a negative 1/2, which is our scalar, times our vector. So we get actually a positive 3, 4. Okay? So that's our projection. I'm going to shrink that one too. I kind of like this whole shrinking thing. It's nice. I can leave everything up and still write everything. As opposed to when I'm making this on a smart board, I have to scroll, which isn't bad either. I can actually shrink things on smart boards too. And I get to wear my Awesome Sauce headset. Yeah, I look super cool. I think I promised you guys that I wasn't going to ramble for this one, but I'm totally rambling. So we're finding the vector q, which is just going to be our vector v minus that projection, right? So it's really just going to be, 3, 4, minus, 3, 4. And remember, adding and subtracting, you're just adding and subtracting the first number, adding and subtracting the second number. So we get, hey, what's 3 minus 3? 0. What's 4 minus 4? 0. Okay. And then that last little bit, again, when we do that, when we want the dot product, I'll switch to, what did I switch to? Like that orangey color? Okay. So when we do the dot product for Q and W, right, ultimately, you're going to get your 0 because if you look, you've got these zeros here. They're going to end up helping out. Now it looks like a face. I don't know why I'm staring at that thing. It looks like a face. So we get 0 times a negative 6 plus a 0 times a negative 8. And you get 0 plus 0, which is 0. Okay? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I watched the little bit of the last video, or the first video, where I got that whole Schoology message. I don't know why I keep saying method. And you can't see it. So I just got another one that you can't see again. So not a shorter video. A little bit shorter, but not much shorter. Sorry, guys. I tried.